How about you start it off?
Okay, fine. I'll start it off. In at number 10 for myself is a record that I think I mentioned to you guys quite a few times to check out. This one dropped, I want to say maybe mid-year, somewhere in there. It was a bitch to get to, man. Like, I was going to order the vinyl of this, but the shipping was retarded. But in at number 10 is Koss, Born to Live. He is a Belgian producer. And I came across this record kind of by accident, actually. I'd heard this song, Longevity, that he did with Masta Ace. So it's a producer record. Good
song.
Yeah, so I'd heard the song. I was like, who the fuck is Koss? Like, I hadn't really heard of this guy before. And I looked into him. And yeah, it turns out he's a Belgian producer who worked. And this album's great, man. It's really, really great. Like, he worked with cats like Tori, Masta Ace, Large Professor, Craig G. He's got Marley Marl on a fucking skit on the record. Black Poet, J Live. Even Keith Murray makes an appearance on the record with a dope track, man. And actually, this sounds like old Keith Murray. You know, Murray's actually ripping it up pretty good. And Rusty Jux is on the record. And pretty cool stuff. If you get the extended CD version of it, it's got a remix by K-Def of the Masta Ace Longevity song. There's a remix for the Large Professor Craig G done by 12 Finger Dam. And then we got a couple other remixes on there too. Large Professor remixes the Keith Murray song, which is really cool too. But this is a very cohesive type boom bap type record. You guys know what I'm into. So do you like those MCs and shit? I think every song on here is awesome. But Longevity was kind of the stick out that got me to check out this record. So did you guys end up hearing the album at all?
Yep. Yeah, I checked it out after you mentioned it. Definitely quality stuff.
Yeah, it's short. You know, it feels short when you listen to it, but I think it's short and good. And yeah. I don't really think there's any misses. Like, I absolutely love Craig G on this record, man. The Large Pro Craig G song is just awesome, man. It's called Her. It's kind of like a dedication song to hip hop and things like that. And it's awesome, man. I think that's an interesting duo. Large Professor being one of my favorite producers / MCs, because I like his style. I know some people are always kind of like, Large Professor's he's kind of not choppy when he raps, but he's just so kind of direct. You know, he doesn't have that like real fluent flow, but I disagree. I think he raps so good to his bars. But then you got Craig G, who's like really dope. Like, he's still killing it, man, with the rhymes. And I think that, you know, that contrast between Large Professor and Craig G, which I don't know if they've ever done a song together. Maybe Large Pro may have. Oh, Large Pro has produced for Craig G in the past, but I don't think they've ever actually rapped together. But man, dude is fucking. I love this record, man. Rusty Jux kills this track. J Live sounds amazing. It's cool to hear, man, because Tori and Black Poet and Rusty Jux all kind of have that same type of style, like in your face kind. I don't know. I really like the record, man. But Koss, Born to Live. Check it out, man. It's on CD and vinyl. I believe the vinyl doesn't have the bonus tracks, or maybe just has 2 of the bonus tracks. Don't mark my word on it, because I'm always wrong. And but yeah, that's my number 10.
Nice. What did you have, Tom?
For number 10, we're not going to go all the way down. We're going to go one up. Okay. Let's see. I had Rock Marciano's Rosebud Revenge.
Nice.
Obviously. The one that we reviewed on the show. And surprisingly, I played it a bunch after we reviewed it. Like, this was basically nonstop in my system for however long. Obviously, Rock Marciano is not going to be for everyone. Not everyone loves his voice, his rhyme flow, whatever. People say they fucking, you know, it's not for everyone. The beats aren't always for everyone. But I thought this was a fucking fantastic. He's never had a bad record or, you know, bad project, in my opinion. Everything is always fantastic. A nice kind of production on this too. That was, I don't know, produced by him. A couple of tracks produced by him, especially near the end. A little bit different for him. It didn't make me want to fall asleep, as people like to say. That his flow likes to make them fall asleep. So not for me, man. It always keeps me entertained. It's smooth. It's definitely smooth, but it's just so dope. Yeah, I'm sure you guys have heard the record. If you haven't, I would highly recommend you go check it out. But Rock Marciano, just in general.
Yeah, definitely. Nice. I'm glad that made your list.
Yeah, man. So I was listening to Take It Personal podcast again just the other day, and I think it was the new episode they had. There was a little bit of interview with Apathy and Vanderslice on there, and
Vanderslice, where's Vanderslice been?
that was actually part of the conversation, man. They're like, where the fuck is your album, man? Because he's like,
yeah, man.
Because it was kind of funny, right? Because, Apathy's just been killing the motherfucking game, man. Like, he's been dropping shit left and right. Like, he's very, very consistent with producing or doing records with OC or putting out solo. Like, he's always doing something, right? And they're like, yo, man, we know where you're at, Apathy, but Vanderslice, where the fuck's your album, man? And they were actually bugging him that Apathy could drop like 3-4 albums in the time that he could do fucking record half of his first album, or half of one album. But it was actually a really funny conversation. But they were talking about like Kevlar, and they were interviewing him basically, and they were like, yo, man. So they asked him like what the last classic album was, and shit like that. And I think Apathy had actually even mentioned like Evidence or something like that. But Vanderslice went on to say, he's like, man, I don't even listen to modern music. I was like, really? Like, you don't listen to... Really? He's like, dude, I didn't listen to anything okay, this is how the conversation got started. 360's like, yo, man, he's like, to be honest, he's like, Perestroika was one of my favorite albums of the year, blah, blah, blah. And he asked Apathy what his was, and Vanderslice was like, man, I didn't listen to anything from 2017. I don't listen to anything modern and shit. I was like, what the fuck? Like, as a producer and shit, like, you think you would... you would still check out some records and stuff like that, right? Not to like bite or anything, but just to see what is going on in the game. And that got me thinking. I was like, man, these guys started out as fans at one time. When did they stop being a fan and just to do the music for money and shit? Like, I mean, if you're not being a fan anymore and you're doing the music, like, it only seems like it's half the love, You still can be a fan. I don't know
if maybe if he like doesn't want any outside influence or any comparisons to modern music, he's just going to do his thing type of thing. But
that is true, and I did consider that. But I mean, but even to still have the love, you're part of it. Like if you're a fan of hip hop, and Cool G Rap dropped a record in 2017. Like even as a producer, as Vanderslice, wouldn't you be slightly curious on hearing that album because he might be one of your favorite MCs of all time? But he didn't check it out.
You would think so.
And it blew my mind. But Apathy seems very into it. Like he's still a fan, and they were talking about records and shit. And anyways, the guys from Take It Personal brought up, like, what are your thoughts on, Rock Marciano and Rosebud's Revenge and shit? And they were both just like, man, they're like, well, I don't get that dude, man. I don't get that dude. What the fuck's with the no drums and shit? And they're like, they went off on a tangent about the no drums and stuff. And then I think it was Vanderslice who brought up the fact that the album's just not Vanderslice. Apathy brought it up, and he's like, man, the album's like, it's mixed so bad. Like his vocals are so in the mix and like this and that. True. But yeah, I do agree. And I think we did talk about that, how the mixing is actually not really the greatest on the record. But they were
there are a couple songs that are pretty damn bad.
Yeah, like actually really bad. And it's funny because I re-listened to the whole album last night again, and I was listening to Sean P's album, then I was listening to, I tell you, the production difference in those two records is like apples and fucking oranges, man. It's crazy how shitty this album sounds compared to like the crisp production of Sean P's album.
Yeah, it's totally different.
It's crazy, man. But it was a very interesting interview with Vanderslice and Apathy. Like they were just talking about a whole pile of crazy stuff. And at one point in the interview, they asked him, like, because they're industry guys and they've met a lot of dudes and stuff, like, who's an asshole? Vanderslice pipes up and he's like, Pete Rock's a fucking asshole, man.
Pete Rock?
I was like, and then Apathy, like, you could hear Apathy go, what? Pete Rock's like the nicest fucking guy I've ever met in my life, man.
That's hilarious.
It was just like the funniest conversation, man. I was like, I was so shocked to hear Pete Rock, because everything I've ever heard about Pete Rock is that he's super nice. He's super fucking nice. Like, he's just a down to earth. He doesn't have I mean, if you follow him on Instagram, all he does is post his comedy shit. He barely ever posts hip hop things. It's always comedy, and it's usually funny ass shit too. It's pretty funny. And he's kind of political and stuff like that too. But Apathy was telling this story about Pete Rock that, because he worked with Pete Rock recently, and he goes, honestly, man, he goes, Pete Rock's like the most down to earth fucking guy. But he goes, my only problem with Pete Rock is that motherfucker gets so damn high when he works, he forgets. He forgets shit. And he's like, yo, man, we're working on this track. And he's like, I sent him over the vocals and shit like that. And it was like a couple weeks later, and I didn't hear from him. So I contacted, and Pete's like, yo, man, you sent me those vocals? He's like, motherfucker, I sent you those shit like 2 weeks ago. He's like, that dude's always so damn high, he's forgetting. I was like,
that's funny.
I can't even picture Pete Rock just getting so fucking lifted that he can't even remember that he got vocals from Apathy. That shit was.
I never even heard Pete Rock talk about getting high like that or anything.
That's exactly my point. I didn't realize that. Like, I mean, it's different. You know, smoke some joints. You know, you get a little blaze and go do your shit. But like, getting so fucked up that you're just like, I can't work right now.
And Apathy seems like the type of guy who's like pretty professional. You know, he would be like on time with shit and like, what's this guy doing?
He's very, very, he's very motivated in that sense, for sure. For sure. Yeah. And they had this really funny conversation about Perestroika too with, you know, how it's a very, well, we talked about it too, a very unlikely duo, you know, Apathy and OC. And he's like, it's funny, man. He's like, it's really, really funny because like we can't really tour over in Japan doing this record because like, he's like, in Japan, man, they fucking love DITC, man. I mean, fucking OC and, you know, Diamond, all those cats are they're the bomb. Like they love DITC over there. Fucking hate white rappers. They're like, they fucking hate, they don't want to see white rappers rap because it's not authentic to them. And Apathy, and this is Apathy talking, funny. It's so funny. He's like, so we can't do the show over there because they don't want to hear me fucking rap. And he's like, that's fine. But he goes, it makes sense. It totally makes sense because when I fucking watch a kung fu movie, I don't want to watch fucking some white dude doing some kung fu. I want to see some Asian dude doing some kung fu. And I was like, that's so funny. Yeah. It's like a good conversation, but.
Yeah, it is funny.
But anyways, off on a major, huge tangent there. Tom, number 10 years was Rosebud's Revenge. Cool.
What you got, Jason?
And coming in at number 10 for me is some good lo-fi boom bap shit with Hex One, Words Worth 1,000 Pictures.
Nice. Yeah, really dope record, man.
Yeah, this came out later in the year, so I didn't get to, you know, give it as many plays as a lot of other stuff, but I definitely anticipate on listening to it a lot coming up in this year.
I agree, man. It's very Hex One. Very epidemic type style sounding record.
Yeah, I mean, with Hex One, you basically know what you're going to get at this point. I've never been disappointed by anything that he has put out or Epidemic has put out, so he's good quality shit.
Definitely one of the most consistent underground groups, and yeah, he's got 2 records out now, and plus the Epidemic, like really, really quality stuff. I think my biggest problem with the record, man, is that when you listen to it, it just flies by too fast. It's only 38 minutes long.
Yeah, that's the way I found a lot of albums this year. They're around the 37, 38 minute mark.
That's almost like
I love that though, man. I love that. It's like, you know, like you said, it just flies by and you just want to play it again.
It's funny because I always considered like 45. I know it's not much of a difference at 7 minutes. Ooh, 7 fucking minutes. Look at this guy. He's bitching about 7 minutes. But I always felt like 45 minutes was like the perfect length for a record. And the reason for that, because growing up, I used to, obviously when in the early 90s, I didn't have a lot of money. It's not like I had a fucking job. I was like 11, 12, So I used to record a lot of albums, from my buddy's older siblings and shit like that. My homie, his older brother was really into hip hop, which was awesome because he used to have, these records and shit like that. So I'd record them. And I remember when the Low End Theory came out back in 92 and, or was it 91? Whatever, 91, 92. No, it's 92. And so, but that, it kind of solidified it for me because that record you could record on one side of a 90-minute tape.
Yeah.
And then I figured out there was a lot of albums you could do that with, like whether it be like, Funk Dubious or the Cypress, like there was tons of records that were coming out that were 45 minutes. And I always remember that, I could record the whole record on one side and flip it over and have a whole nother album. And it was awesome. So I was like, that was the perfect length for a record for myself, just based on.
And it kind of stuck with you all these years.
It did, man. And I was like, man, there's nothing worse than hearing a record that's 78 minutes, man. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, cut your shit. It's like those damn indie horror directors that, they make a fucking hour or a 127-minute indie film. You're like, dude, I know that you want to use all the footage that you shot, but you need to cut that shit down, man. That's way too fucking long.
Yeah.
You got to learn how to cut your shit up. But yeah, 38 minutes. The album only has 2 features on it, I believe, Sky Zoo and, of course, Tex on a song, too, which ultimately is an Epidemic track.
Yeah. Yeah, that song with Sky Zoo is a really good song.
I do, man. I love that track. That's like one of my favorite tracks on the album, man. Peep the Steez?
Yeah, definitely one of my favorite tracks on there.
Yeah, that's good shit, man. But some classic sound and boom bap shit right there. That's cool. Cool, Hex One. That's a good choice. All right.
Thank you, I actually had that at my like 11th or 12th spot. That was like very close.
Oh, nice.
Edging in, the list. So definitely one of my favorite releases this year for sure.
Cool.
I agree, man. I agree. So coming at number 9, and back onto that, that fucking boom bap right there, man. That's what we're gonna be fucking with here. Coming across the pond too, man. I didn't even realize this, but this is another European producer, Propo 88. With Astronomic Delight. Another producer record. This is not intentional. I actually did not even realize I had done this, but
Mood's going all European on us here.
But seriously. Man, if you're into boom, I mean, Propo 88 obviously is hugely inspired by 90s hip hop. Because these beats, I've shown people Propo 88's beats before, and they legitimately thought they were from the 90s. I'm like, no, man, this is brand new recorded stuff. And they're like, fuck, that's crazy. And I'm like, maybe it's because, over in the Netherlands, they are just getting the 90s stuff. You know what I'm saying? They're just like so far behind the times. It's like all brand new. And like, they're just imitating what they're getting. No, but for real though. But like, it's another great record, man. It's got, I know Jay's not the biggest fan of Blabbermouth, but I love him, man. It's got Hex One on a record called Extra Extra. Wadalux is on it. Some other cats from their crew. But it's just like strictly awesome boom bap shit, man. Like, I think the whole album bangs from top to bottom. It's like a perfect record too. It's got 12 tracks, 12 overall tracks. Got like kind of like an intro, outro type thing. And it's just classy, dirty sound and boom bap, but kind of clear though. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's just, but nothing but good stuff, man. The Anticipated with Wadalux, man, is so fucking dope. I think there's actually a video for that track too, so you can check that out. But yeah, man, give this one a shot, man. Awesome record. Propo 88, another producer record.
I actually didn't listen to this one, so that's one I'll put down on the list to check out for sure.
I will say I don't think that there's a CD for it. It only, okay. I believe it just got released on vinyl. I was lucky enough to actually grab one through. I ordered from Underground. I ordered from Underground Hip Hop. That's right. Okay. I actually got a copy from there. But I think the only release is on vinyl, which is, I mean, I'm totally fine. So, but if you can't go that way, there is digital copies and stuff. But Propo 88, check it out, man. It's good stuff.
Nice.
So keeping kind of, if we, the same boom bap theme, since I guess that's where we're going with this. My number 9 is Apollo Brown and Planet Asia, Good Old Anchovies.
Nice.
Nice.
Everyone loves anchovies. So yeah, I don't know. Have you guys heard this record?
Yep.
I'm assuming you have, but
Yep.
So
honestly, with this record, I was a little bit disappointed in it. I don't know. It just didn't really do it for me.
Yeah, that's what I hear. A lot of people said they were disappointed. I thought it was perfect. A little bit of maybe sparse production from Apollo Brown on this one, not his usual.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still you got that boom bap kind of dusty, gritty production, but it's definitely still sparse, a little bit more minimal from Apollo Brown. I like that though. I like that he let Planet Asia go crazy and just do his thing. This kind of, I know it's not the same for everyone, but this reminds me a little bit of when Planet Asia was just first coming out back in like the early 90s, like 99, the Planet Asia EP, stuff with Rasco. I know it's not the same style of rapping, but it gives me the same kind of feeling when I hear this that gave me. So I've always been a huge fan of Planet Asia, and Apollo Brown obviously is amazing. I know what you mean, Jason. I've heard more than a few people say that, and I completely get it. But for me, this is one of my favorite records for sure. You're not going to get anything crazy on this, so don't expect anything that, well, maybe you will from Apollo Brown. You might get something a little bit less than you would think Apollo Brown, but
yeah, man,
I think it worked well. So that's just me though. I'm weird apparently. So
I agree. I'm a fan of Planet Asia too, man. I think he's had a very productive career, man. Like, he's a very interesting cat. He's kept it, strictly underground, and actually on purpose too, man. He's, they've tried to sign him to major labels a bunch of times. He's like, nah, man, fuck that shit. He's like, seriously stays and does his own thing because he wants to control. But I like how he does work with like specific producers and things like that. And he stayed relevant throughout the years, which without a lot of notoriety. Because you talk to some people and are like, oh man, you hear that new Planet Asia record? They're like, who? You know, and dude's always dropping some shit, man. But I like Planet Asia and, his style of MCing and shit like that. I think he's pretty dope. And he's an interesting cat, too, actually, going back to Take a Personal Podcast. There's actually a recent episode that they actually interviewed Planet Asia, and it's a great fucking interview, man. It's like an hour and a half, whatever it is. Man, I learned a lot of shit about Planet Asia, man, that I didn't know. Very, very in-depth stuff right there, so check that out. But I agree with Jay, man. I actually agree. I do like this project. I was disappointed because one of my favorite things about Apollo Brown is his goddamn drums. I love the drum sound. I mean, one of my favorite albums of this millennium is Trophies. I fucking find that album to be like perfect. I think it's so good. And he does such great albums with people. But this shocked me that this was like a drumless record, man. Yeah,
and it's kind of funny for me because I love Apollo Brown, but I'm always like kind of like making fun of him, saying, "Oh, it's basically sounds the same every time out." But he changed it up a lot this time.
Yeah,
and
I think that's why
it didn't work for me.
I think it's why I like this so much because he did change it up and it did work for me. It wasn't the same usual Apollo Brown shit that we get every time, and I'm like, "Wow, this is totally different." I'm digging this. I didn't think I was going to be like the first couple times I played it, I wasn't as hot on it. I was like, "This is cool." It's definitely different. I don't think I'm going to love this. And something just clicked for me after like the third, fourth listen. I was like, damn, I don't know. Something I heard. It was definitely mostly Planet Asia, I got to say. Apollo Brown and the minimal production from Apollo Brown and Planet Asia going over it. Just something about it just worked. Yeah. I said, maybe it was nostalgia a little bit for me, but
I didn't get to spin this one as much as I wanted to, like, because I had pre-ordered this album and it didn't ship forever, right? I just got it like, a few weeks ago. So I didn't get to spin it as much as I wanted to, but I actually spun it again last night. And, but it's all right. I mean, when I think of Apollo Brown, I think of that drums that he uses. I don't know, man. It's good though. But Planet Asia does kill the record though. I think he's got a really interesting style of MCing, and he's intriguing. He's intriguing. He's always saying some shit, man. He's not what you think he is, and I don't know, man. It's a decent record. It's just something that, I can't see myself rolling around and bumping that shit in my car because there is the fucking drums, man. It's just so weird to me, but I don't know. It's still good though. I enjoy it.
It's still good.
Nice.
I like the record, but yeah, it's still good. Yeah, it only just came out, but it's just not it's completely not what I was expecting. I was honestly shocked to shit, dude.
That's why I was a little bit as well.
Yeah. I mean, considering Apollo Brown's done how many records in the last 10 years with people, and like you said, it's when you hear an Apollo Brown record, you're hearing an Apollo Brown record. It's got that, those drum patterns, those drum sounds, and the strings and that he uses and shit like that. It's kind of like, he's kind of like this generation, not this generation, but it's kind of like Ninth Wonder of like the 2000s and shit. You remember when you hear a Ninth Wonder track, you're like, that's Ninth Wonder.
Yeah.
So, all right.
And also keep in mind that I didn't, as I said previously, I didn't hear that many hip hop records this year. So maybe if I heard something else, it would have knocked it out. But this is just one for me. Like I said, mainly for Planet Asia. So, and go check out some of Planet Asia's earlier stuff too. That's where I think his best stuff is. But
you ever hear The Medicine?
Yep.
Produced by Evidence.
Yep.
Yeah.
See that's like one of those records where nobody talks about. Evidence has produced entire records for people that no one ever talks about, man.
Right.
Evidence is actually quite prolific. I mean, you think about all the Dilated People stuff and his solo career, which is blowing the fuck up. But then, he produced an entire record for like Planet Asia. He also did. You guys ever hear the one that he did with Elemento?
Yeah, that's a good record. I was actually listening to that the other night.
Dude, that album is so damn underrated. Fucking dope. Elemento fits on those beats like a glove, man. It's fucking great, dude. And then, of course, he did this year's record with Madchild, too. So he's been a busy motherfucker, man. He's always doing some shit. But I think that Medicine record with Planet Asia has been super, super overlooked.
I think it's fantastic.
I
love it.
Good shit.
I think it is too, man. I think it's like one of Planet Asia's best. And Planet Asia has quite a big discography, man. He's got a lot of records, man. He really does.
Yeah, he's put out albums where I had no clue they were even put out, and then I was like, oh shit, there's a new Planet Asia album.
I think people forget that, like, he came out in the 90s.
Been around for a while, and especially lately, he's been putting out like quite a few projects that have just been going under the radar.
Exactly.
That album not too long ago with, I can't even say the producer's name. It's like Tsarism, some TZ, something like that. I don't know if you guys heard that one.
Yeah, well, he also did the record with DJ Concept last year, I think.
Yep, that was a few years back. He also did.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
he actually already has a new album this year in 2018. I don't know if you guys know that.
Yeah, it dropped like right after Anchovies, which is actually, he talks about that in the interview. And actually, I think it was like 360 asked him, he's like, yo, man, he's like, you just dropped this record with Apollo Brand and Anchovies, and then you got an album coming out like 2 weeks later. And he's like, yo, what the fuck's up with that? And he goes, honestly, he goes, this album's been in the works for 5 years. He goes, I've been recording this album for 5 years. So it's not like he just recorded it and then dropped it. It said it's been a project he's been working on for a long time. And he said the timing is a little bit weird because I just dropped Anchovies, but he's like, this was the right time to drop it. So that's kind of what happened there. But yeah, they had him on there because it was kind of celebrating 20 years in the game, you know, a Planet Asia's name since, 97, 98, to present, right? So, but yeah, no, he's had an insane career, man. The Cali Agents record was really dope too. It's one that people should check out. Shit. So, yeah.
All right. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, there's your Planet Asia portion of the show, everybody. But,
yep.
I didn't expect that coming into this show, but we got it. Coming in at number 9, I have Everlast, Sick Jacket, and Divine Styler hooking up for their new project, War Porn.
Nice.
And I know Moodz introduced me into this, so I was like, shit, man. When I first listened to this, I was like, this is Divine Styler's producing this shit?
I know, right?
Man, and it's so good to hear Everlast back on the mic doing this type of stuff, man. It's great. He sounds so good, too, especially
If we had...
sounds so together.
If we had sorry to cut you off, but if we had an award show for the most shocking record of the year, I think War Porn's got to do it. Yeah. Because first of all, Divine Styler has been doing very oddball music, instrumental, kind of experimental shit for years. He hasn't been doing the stuff that he was in like the later 80s, early 90s with Ryan Syndicate stuff. But so this was a huge shock. I mean, for 2 reasons. Actually, in my opinion, 3 reasons. One, Divine Styler doing hip hop beats again. That was, and just to hear the name Divine Styler was insane to me. Everlast, I shouldn't say reinvented. Everlast has always been dope, in my opinion, but this is like a new motivated Everlast, like drop the guitar, pick up the fucking mic, blow your fucking head off with some extremely dope rhymes. Yeah. Like he came at you full force. And thirdly, Jay actually liking Sick Jacket on a record. Because my opinion, I love Sick Jacket.
Yeah. You definitely love Sick Jacket.
I
was always kind of iffy on Sick Jacket, but with this album, man, it's like he's definitely made me a fan of what he's doing right now. Anyway.
Yeah.
This album is crazy with all the crazy samples and shit, and it is technically a mixtape, I guess, because they couldn't clear all the samples, so they put it out as a mixtape. And hopefully in the future, though, they put out a project together that's released as a normal album type of style.
Yeah, they literally had to label it as a mixtape and just put it out for free because, I mean, dude, could you imagine what it would have cost to actually drop that record? Clear all those samples. I mean, it would have broke all 3 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, Everlast is a fucking multimillionaire. I mean, come on here. I mean, they were sampling some big shit, man, from like Zeppelin to like, I couldn't even imagine what it would have cost to clear that shit, man.
Yeah.
But it's kind of interesting because, for the people out there listening that haven't heard the record, or the mixtape, it doesn't play out like your typical mixtape. It actually plays like a full album. They just had to call it. I mean, there's no interludes, there's no bullshit. It's just it's top to bottom. I think 11 tracks or whatever, and it's
they have some great features on it as well.
Oh yeah, really good. Actually, really interesting features to be honest. I mean, what's the song? Keep Your Distance with Big Daddy Kane's on there.
Yeah, Big Daddy Kane.
Song with Big Daddy Kane on there, man. Be Real's on there. I think Vinny Paz.
Yeah.
I come from Dilated People.
Oh yeah, Rocket Science. Yep. Yeah. Oh, Terminology's on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a great album, I thought.
Really, really good album. Yeah, good shit, man. But yeah, that Divine Styler production, I can't wait. And I really do hope that they drop, like, it's something official in the future.
Yeah.
And, here's another example. This album right here, 11 tracks, runs 38 minutes long.
Yep.
But then again, I think...
They do have physical copies, actually, of this that were available at their shows. So they did do live shows of this album, believe it or not. And they did sell both physical copies at the shows, which... If you get lucky, you can still find it online for sale, or maybe at their site. But I know at the show that they had, they did sell this because one of my buddies went. He said he copped one. So very, very hard to find, though. Very rare otherwise.
Are they CDRs? Or they actually,
I'm not sure.
They actually press them?
I'm not sure. I think they weren't real. They were just I believe they were like professionally made CDRs and like the little paper sleeves. You know what I
mean? Yeah. But still, man. I mean, even to have one of those, I mean, you actually physically went to the show, got a physical copy and shit. That's fucking dope, man.
Yep.
It did have official artwork on the CD, so pretty cool.
Nice.
I mean, really, put this into perspective. How many people can say, I mean, a lot of people can say they've seen Everlast recently in concert, probably even Sick Jackin', but how many people can say, I went and seen Divine Styler?
Yeah.
Not many.
Because, I mean, when you really put this into perspective, how many shows do you think Divine Styler's done in like the last 15 years before they did this? Do you think he was touring with that that electronic instrumental, whatever the fuck that shit was? What do you even call that?
Yeah, it's just
experimental,
I don't know,
weird,
abstract type shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it was funny when this came out. When I put on Twitter as like, "Holy shit!" Like Divine Styler, these are like beats are fire, and then he retweeted it, and I looked at his Twitter, and I have more followers than he does.
Dude,
it's like that is crazy, man. I'm just some average dude, and it's fucking Divine Styler, and he has like 400 followers or something.
Dude, that's fucked, man. It's Divine Styler is responsible for like Everlast's career and shit. Like, I don't think a lot of I honestly think a lot of people don't realize who Divine Styler is.
No, I mean he's like, nobody really know. I don't know. It's crazy when you think about stuff like that, man.
Yeah, man. That blew my shitter out, man. You got more followers than Divine Styler?
Yeah, man.
What the fuck? I'm actually speechless right now. That's so sad. That's so fucking sad, man. I mean, not to disrespect you or anything, but I'm just saying it's Divine Styler.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's ridiculous.
That's fucked, man. Shit, man. Yeah, honestly, Tom, I had no idea that they were touring. I didn't know they were doing shows and shit. That's fucking cool, man.
It's cool, right?
Because I know that they recorded that shit like a cohesive record. They didn't just like send files off through the internet and stuff. They sat in a studio and actually recorded the shit together.
Yeah.
Which we all know is not, it doesn't happen very often in today's world because it's just so easy to, here's a beat, send me your vocals over and I'll put you on a track and stuff. I mean, people pay you to do verses for records, but you're usually not recording with the other artist. And that's one thing I liked about the Perestroika record is that they recorded that shit together.
Yeah.
OC and Apathy sat down and did their shit together and worked it out. So, and sometimes you can tell. Sometimes you can really tell. So. But yeah, so Jason, number 9, that was War Porn. Is it War Porn or War Porn Industries?
War Porn Industries, I've seen. Yeah.
Because if you go to the website, I think it does say War Porn Industries, and I think that's what their crew is called, War Porn Industries, and then the album is called War Porn.
Yeah, perhaps that's what it is.
Yeah. Because my buddy ripped me the CD. It was War Porn Industries and War Porn, because I wanted to see the artwork. So it says War Porn Industries on the cover, a.k.a. Everlast, Jack, and Divine Styler. Then album name is just War Porn Industries as well. So.
Yeah, it's been listed a bunch of ways. I've even seen it listed as Everlast War Porn. So I mean,
so I think the mixtape just came out as like Everlast War Porn or something. So
yeah.
But anyway, go check it out regardless, because it's And so. And let me just say before we move on, because we're not going to talk about this anymore. I take it that was my number 7 as well. So,
all right, cool.
So I doubt, because I just wanted to say that, because I doubt we're gonna talk about it again, because we've said enough about it. So,
nice. All right, Moodz, what do you have for number 8?
All right, so coming in at number 8 here, we've got Jazz Spastics with Midnight Method. This is a record, man, that I randomly came across. And I believe it was through Bandcamp. I think I was looking up something, and I just, clicking away. Checked out a track, and like really, really dug it. It feels like that. It kind of feels like early '90s stuff in a sense. I really don't know how to describe it. Like I don't know. How would you describe it, Jay? It's like, I feel like it has that kind of like that early '90s type feel to it.
Yeah, I guess you could say that, but I don't know.
This track, Follow the Leader, man. Oh, dude! As soon as I heard it, I just like fell in love with the samples that were used on it. The way they chopped
I actually thought you would have this higher on your list because you were all about this. I remember you messaged me one day and it's like, you got to check this album out. And I put it on. I looked it up right away and I started listening to it. But yeah, I thought you would have this like in your top 5 or something.
Yeah, this is the Scratch and Sniff record, right?
Scratch and Sniff is the instrumental record that they did this year too. Which one was this? This one's called Midnight Method. It's Jazz Spastics and Mellow So Black.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear this one.
Yeah, this one actually has vocals. Scratch and Sniff is just instrumental record, right?
Right.
Yeah, so this one's the vocals and stuff, and it's really cool, man. It's just got like this really kind of chill, mellow, kind of early '90s vibe to it. Not really the best lyricist in the world, but at the same time, I think for myself, it's fun music. It really does put a smile on my face when I listen to it because the beats are kind of fresh and it's just an interesting vibe throughout the record. And it's, again, another really... it's got 14 tracks on it, runs 38 minutes. I don't know what the fuck's up with 38 fucking minutes this year.
Yeah, man, it's all over the place. 38 minutes.
It's a quick listen. But I like the samples. I like the soul that was put into this. And, just another, Bandcamp underground indie group that, is pressing up their shit. It's pretty damn cool, man. Right. But yeah, dude, I mean, you can actually, their stuff is actually hard. I think I tried to look up some stuff. Some of the instrumental stuff is on YouTube and shit, but like this I think they might have blocked all of it or something. You can't really find anything, which is kind of weird, which is kind of strange. You think you'd want to actually have it on there, but yeah, Jazz Spastics. You never heard this one, Tom? You just heard the Scratch and Sniff? Oh shit.
I only heard Scratch and Sniff. Yeah, I didn't even know this was a thing.
What did you think of that instrumental record?
I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
I'm just trying to think of a way to describe the album because you were asking me how I would describe it. It's like, I don't know. It's like kind of playful, kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Were they similar to Scratch and Sniff? The instrumentals on that one?
No. It's different.
No.
Yeah.
Different. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one was like a purely instrumental, like turntable kind of record where, like scratching cool cut and paste samples and stuff. So
yeah, that's kind of like, I mean, the instrumentals are a little bit like that on here. A lot of known samples, like vocal samples and chopped up shit that you'll recognize. If you're a hip hop enthusiast, and I like that, man. It's kind of fun, and it's not hard lyrics and shit like that. It almost kind of reminds me of like maybe People Under the Stairs a little bit. You know how their shit's kind of fun. They're always talking about partying and shit like that. And it's not so much a party record. It's straight up like early '90s kind of hip hop. It almost has that immaturity feel to it. Not like the very first, Far Side record where it just feels completely immature, kind of thing. But it has that kind of vibe to it, man. It's just one of those records that you put on, you'll have fun with it. It's a quick listen, and it was refreshing to hear something like that. It came out, and it was funny because when I first heard the record, I was like, "There's no way this is from." I thought it was older too. I thought it was actually an older record, and I was like, "Oh no, that came out in 2017." I'm like, "Damn, cool." Bonus. So Jazz Spastics, Midnight Method, and of course they also dropped the Scratch and Sniff record, which I believe Luke Menace actually had on his top projects of the year. I think he might have had both these on there. I'm pretty sure he did actually. So yeah, with Mellow So Black. So give that a shot. Really enjoyed that stuff. And at number 8. So Tom, your number 8 was War Porn, right?
Yep, War Porn.
What's your favorite song off War Porn?
Ooh, big question. Probably.
I thought you said that was number 7.
No, I'm sorry. It was number 8. The same shirt.
Okay, right on.
I think I just interpreted that's what he meant. So
yeah. No, I did say number 7, but I didn't want to interrupt you, so I did mean number 8. I don't know. I kind of like the self-titled song with Be Real. I think it's called War Porn Industries.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Dazed and Confused. The track with Terminology was pretty cool. Signs of Healing. Yeah, probably those. Big Daddy Kane. All the ones with features were pretty damn cool. But even though what like Preach with just fucking Everlast and Sick Jacket was definitely one of my. This is I think really is that the second track? Yeah, the second track. Wait, no, third track. I'm sorry.
Track. Yeah.
Third track. Yep. I would have to say that was my favorite. If we're going with no features, that's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, yeah. Man,
it's hard. They're all fucking great tracks. You know how you got there's a bad track on here.
You know.
So I was going to say we're naming just about all of them here.
You know what? You know what fucking War Porn did with this mixtape? They made a greatest hits album.
It really is. It's that fucking good.
It's the first greatest hits mixtape of all time.
All time, yeah, ever made.
Oh shit!
Yeah, dude, I absolutely adore Be Real's verse on War Porn Industry, man. Be Real fucking murders that shit, man.
Yeah,
murders it. So good.
Probably that. Yeah, those two are probably my favorites if I had to pick.
Yeah, excellent
fucking project. Yeah, definitely. I wish that we get more from these guys because this is fan-fucking-tastic. I hope that fucking we get more projects from these guys. They turn this into like an actual group or an actual like I don't know, just a fucking collective of musicians or something because that would work out fucking great for them. I believe all shows were fucking sold out, which is not that surprising, you know. And of course, people won't want to see them. So, yeah.
You know, when people talk about, or you know, you always see those lists of people talking about like super groups and shit like that. Well, this to us is a major super group.
Yeah. You
know, like these are some established people that just in the shit. I mean, it's crazy how many people I showed this to this year that had no idea this even came out. Yep. I mean, we're talking fucking Everlast, man.
Yeah.
Right? This is crazy. I can see people not hearing about Sick Jack and maybe Divine Style. We've talked about that. But this is fucking Everlast, man.
Yeah, and this did come out totally under the radar. There, like, no one that I asked about this knew about this either. No one, aside from you guys and, like, the fucking one or two other friends of mine that are actually into, like, hip-hop, you know, like, deep into it. No one else knew about it. It's crazy. Yeah,
I agree, man. This shit just flew. And I showed it to... Everyone I showed it to really enjoyed it. They're just like, wow, man. Why don't they press it up? And I said, they can't press it up, man. You know?
It's crazy. It came out back in February, and I think I listened to it every month since it came out. So,
dude, this dropped in February?
Came out originally back in February is when it dropped. Yep.
Holy shit, dude. Yeah, wow. That was a heavy rotation.
Yeah, that was a long-ass time ago because I remember when you mentioned it on one of the shows we did, and I checked it out that night, and I was like, holy shit, this is great.
I think it might have been the first episode.
Might have been.
It was either the first or second episode that we did of the show. Wow, crazy. Well, I mean, this being right at the end of January, so this has practically been out for a year.
Yeah.
That's funny. Good shit.
Yep. And number 8, I have, this is a surprise for me, but I had MC8, Which Way is West.
Wow, man. You know, I'm very, very excited that you like that album, man, because...
Oh, man, I loved it. I love this album. I played this a lot. Man, it's good shit.
Okay, let me ask you something. I know that you said in the past, like, you're not the biggest MC8 fan. Like, do you like... Or,
I've always liked MC8.
Okay, so... Was it, you know, it's an interesting thing, man, with Frank Sinatra doing the beats on here and shit. Like, I think it was like a totally fresh sound for MC8. Because remember when I told you to check out those mixtapes that they had done together? There was some pretty good stuff on there and shit. And, but yeah, man, I wasn't expecting the album to be like this much fire.
Yeah. It's like there's not really a song on there that I really say is weak. Yeah. And I mean, the 3 songs that DJ Premier did are all good as well. So yeah, top to bottom, man, it's just a really solid album.
I agree, man. I agree.
West Coast shit with some East Coast flavor.
It is, man. It was just like, you know, I actually ended up getting a physical copy of this too. I was very excited. Yeah, well, so I was down at my buddy's shop and we were talking. He's like, I want a physical copy of this, but the shipping's like fucking. It was $15 for one seat. Like the album was $10, I think, on there, and the shipping was $15. It was like, what? So so we're sitting there bullshitting. And I said, well, because he's got a couple distributors that distribute it to his shop too, and they weren't carrying it. They couldn't get it. And I was like, well, the only place to really get it is that Primo store. It was like the only place, and I really don't understand why, because. You know, you think with a household name like MC8 and a, you know, household name like Primo, your shit would be more accessible. You know, you could probably pick it up at some underground hip hop, you know, but you couldn't. This was like the hardest album to get a hold of. It was insane. So I said to him, I said, well, go to the website. Let's put in 2 copies and we'll see what the shipping is. It turned out the shipping was $16 for 2 copies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's fun.
So it turned out $8 a piece. We split the price, and it ended up costing me whatever it was. And I was like, well, it was way better than paying, $35 after the, and shit like that. So ended up getting a copy. Awesome. I'm very, very happy for that. But very uplifting record. I was just shocked by this year, man. Primo working with MC8. I mean, we got, this amazing verse from the Lady of Rage, who rips this fucking verse on Heart Cold. And I've always been a really big fan of Rage, because the thing I've always liked about Lady of Rage that people seem to tend to forget, of course, she was part of Death Row Records, and that's how she got her, her fame. But she's actually originally from Philly, so she has like kind of this East to Midwest kind of, style and flow and shit like that. So she was always a little bit more lyrical and shit. And when the Lady of Rage put out her first record, well, actually the only record that Death Row ever dropped, which was actually it was delayed a couple years too, right? After all that Death Row went to, that album was supposed to come out a couple years prior, I believe. But I liked it because she had like Easy Mo B production on there. She had that East Coast flavor and shit. So I love this. I love this collabo, man. I think her verse is awesome. And I actually heard that she recorded this verse in her neighbor's garage.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. She got the call. I guess A wanted to work with her or whatever, and then she's like, "Okay, I'll rip this verse, send it over," and she ripped it in her fucking neighbor's garage.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Good shit, man. Yeah.
Yeah. With that, I posted in our group there. I said, it's like, I don't like female MCs, but once in a while I'll make an exception, and this was definitely an exception.
I always look at Rage as like kind of one of the guys, because she doesn't have that shitty ass like, a lot of female MCs just have. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but a lot of them do have that kind of like raspy, like annoying, over the top female voice, and you're just like, shut the fuck up. But Rage kind of raps normal, she's just kind of one of the dudes.
I mean, her name's Lady of Rage. That's what you're getting. Come on.
Yeah. Plus, it does help that she's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
some pretty good rhymes. So, but, wow, man, MC, I'm very, very shocked to hear you have that on there. That's fucking cool, man.
Nice. Yeah. I love this album.
Really cool stuff. So that was your number
8.
That was number 8. Yeah.
Wait, number 8? Number 7?
No, that was Jay's number. He was last. So coming in at number 7 for myself is Mayhem Loren and DJ Muggs, Gems from the Equinox. Man, I came way the fuck up on this record this year. I think when we reviewed it, I was like, I dug it. I really enjoyed it. But man, I found myself listening to this album over and over and over again. I just couldn't get enough of it, man. I really ended up digging the shit out of this album. I think it might have sounded like when we reviewed it that I wasn't the biggest Mayhem Loren fan. I mean, I have lots of Mayhem Loren records and shit. I've always, liked him and stuff. And I think it's pretty interesting, too. Actually, going back to fucking Take It Personal, they recently had an interview with Mayhem Loren on there, too. I didn't realize that he's been friends with Action Bronson for as long as he was. They've been friends since they were, like, in elementary school.
Yeah.
I had no idea. And I was like, that's really interesting, because now it kind of makes sense with, Mayhem Loren always talking about food, because these guys grew up fucking eating. That's what they do. These guys are they just share a love for food. And I'm just like, this is ridiculous, man. And it was a really entertaining interview. And I learned a lot about Mayhem Loren, too. And actually, I learned something that I still can't even get over. I was shaking my head. I was listening to the interview as I'm flying to Vegas last week. And no shit, man, I took my headphones off and I said to the wife, I was like, what the fuck? This is insane. Mayhem Loren has something, what did he say, over 800 pieces of polo clothing? Because he always talks about polo in his songs.
Yeah.
And so they asked him, they're like, man, you always talk about polo in your songs and shit. Like, how many pieces of polo clothing do you have? He's like, something like 800. I'm like, what? I took my headphones. I was like, this motherfucker has 800 pieces of polo clothing, man. The shit that you hear in interviews just boom, blew my shit out. I was like, that is so fun. I'm like, he literally wears polo every day. That's all he wears.
Yeah.
Crazy shit. So that's kind of a quirky thing about Mayhem Loren, but what a down to earth cat though, man. Really, really down to earth cat. Like, he is nothing what you expect, man. Like, he's kind of a little bit opposite to Action. Like, Action Bronson, like, he smokes a lot of fucking weed, does a lot of shit. Mayhem Loren, man, does his shit straight. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. He doesn't get all blazed up. He likes to keep a fucking head, and it was pretty cool, man. So they did something I've never seen before in an interview. So they're interviewing Mayhem Loren, and he's doing this backstage. He puts the fucking phone in his pocket, keeps the speaker on, and goes out and rocks a fucking song. So during the interview, they can hear him, and they're talking. They're like, man, this is fucking crazy. It's like being at the show, man. He's out there, rips the song, and comes back and finishes the interview. All in one motion. Super cool stuff, man. But yeah, really, really dig it, man. I love Muggs' production on the record. After multiple listens, everything works about this album. Really does, man. The features, we got Rock Marciano, Action Bronson, of course, Conway, Mr. Motherfucking Esquire, rest in peace to Sean Price, Hologram, Benny the Butcher, B-Reels on there and shit like that. But we got some bangers, man. I mean, the deluxe edition has 2 more songs, but this edition, or the version that we reviewed, it only runs 33 minutes long. It's a short record.
It's a definitely short one.
But it's very pleasing though, man. Again, it was another record that I think that was liked universally. The amount of people I showed it to this year, like, wow, that's some heavy hitting shit right there. So, I actually learned something about the album cover too. So one of the singles, I think, was Street Religion. I think this one was, yeah. So so the first single was supposed to have this artwork, right? And this was the Street Religion artwork for the 12-inch that they were going to drop. And but the artwork for the album, they were kind of comparing them, like, man, the 12-inch is way better than the fucking the actual artwork. So they just completely changed it up, and they used the 12-inch artwork as the album artwork. So I thought that was kind of cool. But
yeah,
that's why it just has the picture. There's no writing, nothing. But,
I thought it was a pretty cool album cover.
I like it, man. It's memorable. You kind of remember it. It's
exactly.
Jesus holding some Uzis. I mean, you can't go wrong.
Yep.
Gold it up, but yeah, dude, I fucking Red Rum and Murder Rap, man. Those tracks just get me fucking amped, dude.
They're bangers for sure.
That's some DJ Muggs right there, man. Fucking good shit.
Yeah.
So,
definitely.
So that is in at number 7. Tom, your number 7?
My number 7 was Earl Droog.
Oh no, you're on to number 6 now.
Number 6. I'm sorry, number 6.
That's a mid.
My number 6 was Earl Droog with PAX. Obviously, another one that we mentioned on the show a little bit. I think we all enjoy this one, right? From what I remember.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, really cool. Obviously, guy that stole Nas's voice. That's what he's known for. Other than that, yeah, fantastic rapper, really cool. Nice to have a nice, fresh, dope MC out of New York who can actually spit very, very well. I love the production on this album. I know not everyone loved some of the production choices, especially the one that had kind of like I don't even know how to describe it, man, like a weird loop kind of Egyptian sample or something. I think it was called Bangladesh.
Yeah.
I love that that track, that little loop there. But yeah, a lot of kind of, once again, kind of sparser production from what I remember. Some interesting samples too, for sure. I think like what's his name? Frank Zappa. He used the Frank Zappa sample on there, so not a lot of people doing that these days.
True that.
Definitely some great punchline tracks, kind of like definitely maybe reminiscent of what's his name, Big L. At least the kind of his punchline style rap there. Definitely a character for sure. Great tracks though, great fucking tracks on here. I fucking closed the track list on myself, but Winston Red, Winston, I think it's called Winston Red, the last track on the album, which I didn't fucking, I don't know why I didn't love the first time around when we reviewed it, but I fucking came around big on that one. I love that track. That's probably my favorite now.
Yeah, it's definitely my favorite track.
Yeah, the track Help with E-Don and Wiki, fantastic. I just love E-Don though, so good.
Such a unique song from this year. That beat, dude. Really crazy.
Yeah, that beat's chaos.
And the cool little interludes on this album really kind of helped it move along. Not enough people do like kind of skits or interludes in their records, so I think that really kind of helped the whole, overall of the album. But yeah, cool themes throughout, and I would really recommend it. Go check out Earl Droog. I'm sure you guys all heard it, but
Yeah, if you're gonna put like minor skits into your record, man, make them like 7-8 seconds long, like they are in here. They just kind of
like this.
They don't break up the flow of the record at all.
Yeah, and this is really cool as well. It's like Anthony Jeselnik is playing the part of like a radio DJ basically throughout the album, so it's really cool.
It gives it a theme feel, right? It feels like you're spinning Your Old Droog's record on this fucking station, and this is what you're getting.
Right.
It's very cool.
Done so well. Yeah, done so well. So just brings me back to that, that time of like Timberland boots in New York fucking style and all that shit. So
it's a grimy record, man.
It's definitely grimy. Yeah, you guys know what it is. That grimy hip hop. So that's what it brings me back to, and more fucking nostalgia, I guess. But he does it well. He does it very, very well. You can't take that away from him. Being a dude from Russia, I think he's from Ukraine or Russia.
Yeah.
Came here when he was a young kid, fell in love with hip hop, and just fucking did it. Surprised the shit out of everyone, pretty much. So.
Yeah, Droog's one of my current favorite MCs, and that's why Pax is my number 7 on the list.
Ooh,
it's your number 7. Wow,
yeah,
cool. Well, so you guys have this. Okay, yeah. So I think we fucked up there. Yeah. So that was Tom's number 7 too, right?
It was supposed to be number 7, right?
Yeah, no, yeah. I was getting ahead of myself. I was looking at my list going, okay, yeah, but so that was, oh wow, so that was your number 7 also, Your Old Droog. What was your favorite song off the track? Or, again, another album, 14 tracks, 42 minutes. Right around that same timestamp. It's interesting.
Perfect.
Yeah, I was noticing this with almost every album that I have on the list. They're right in that ballpark.
Very strange, man. Very, very strange. Yeah. But I mean, to be fair, albums have gotten a lot shorter. I mean, there was a time period in like the early 90s when albums seemed to be about 45 minutes long. Then there was a period in the mid 90s where everybody's albums were like 60, 65 minutes long because they just let that beat run on. Like the albums got really long for a bunch of years. And then kind of in this, this internet world and stuff where people can just pump out shit like crazy. But albums have gotten shorter, but it may probably in a good way though, because they're kind of putting like the best material on these things, and they're condensing them down to like a cohesive record. They're not like running it on like a Cameron record who has like 24 fucking tracks and like 16 skits, and you're like, fuck, it takes all day to listen to an album. Yeah. If you're going to listen to a Cameron, I'm just using an example because that guy has the longest albums ever. Every one of his.
I always find it funny where people put a time frame on, if they're getting their money's worth out of an album. It's like, it doesn't make sense to me. It's like if an album's 30 minutes long and I love it, I'm good with that. It's 10 songs, 3-minute songs, whatever. I'm good with that.
My one buddy there, man, he used to say if an album wasn't over 30 minutes, it was just an EP to him.
Yeah, well,
so I mean, in a sense, right? I mean, 30 minutes is pretty short. It doesn't mean it can't be good. And generally, I mean, look at Illmatic, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The album doesn't have that many tracks on it. I think it probably runs about 40 minutes though. Not overall a long record, but it's still fucking amazing. So, but yeah, so that was your number 7 or number 7.
7. Yep, 7.
That's right. So starting on number 6 is here. We are going to go back to one that has been mentioned in MC8's "Which Way Is West." Yeah. Nice. I love this album, man. It was, again, I was expecting good things after hearing those mixtapes with Frank Sinatra. And what I got here, I mean, the only thing that I'm disappointed about this album, though, is hearing, okay, I've always mentioned this. I've mentioned this hundreds of times. I don't like to hear someone else's voice as the first voice on someone's record. So a feature. Yeah. So on the very first song, Shut 'Em Down, you get to hear the Outlaws on there. But it always bugs me. It's like this weird quirky thing. I want to hear MC8 first before a feature, that was my only minor complaint about this record. I mean, maybe a little bit too many features. Because I personally love MC8, but I think, the more you listen to, you don't even really notice. There's just some really great stuff on here. Big Mike's on here. Like, Big fucking Mike. Where the fuck's Big Mike been?
It's been forever since I heard that name. Holy shit!
I know, right? And but that's what just blew my mind, though, man. It was like Lady of Rage. Where has she been like forever? Big Mike. Like I don't know how these things came. These collabos came about, but I'm glad they did. Even Exhibit making a fucking appearance on the record too.
Like, Exhibit was pretty solid verse on there.
Yeah, like where's Exhibit been besides pimping out people's cars and shit? Right? Like, what the fuck is Exhibit? And making, I guess, his last bunch of albums have been pretty shitty, but that's one thing about Exhibit, though, that's always kind of bugged me, is that the dude's got some pretty raw talent on the mic, and he doesn't really make the greatest records anymore.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, he's definitely fallen off.
Fallen off big time, man. But yeah, MC8, man, Which Way is West? Looking forward to part 2, which I think officially got... I think it got announced actually by MC8 just the other day. So Which Way is West Part 2 is coming out in 2018. So that's something to look forward to right there. I'm fucking excited. I'm excited.
So is it the same type of lineup with Frank Sinatra doing the production or Premier in there?
I believe so. As far as I know, Frank Sinatra is going to be involved. I think MC8 and Frank Sinatra are kind of a thing now.
Yeah.
It's that yin and yang, that black and white thing. Because Frank Sinatra is actually he's like an Italian producer, right?
Yeah.
Again, man, going to fucking Europe for these producers.
Europeans, man.
This is what's happening this year. This is what's I got 3 European white producers on my fucking list.
Yep.
Wow. Blowing my shitter out, man. It's crazy.
You'll have to go and get a European car after this in tribute of them.
I can't afford a European car, man. Jesus. But yeah, man, so that's MC8 number 6. Tom, you're number 6.
Oh, man. My number 6 is nice collaboration of a dude from Boston and a dude from the D.C. area.
Oh, yeah.
Incite the Truncator and Damu the Fudge Monk.
Nice.
Spears. I knew I was going to fucking mess that name up, that fucking album.
Now, this might be a little bit controversial. Some people are like, no, that motherfucker was recorded like way long time ago. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Who cares? It's brand new to us.
It came out, and it was released in 2017. That's how we decided we're going to do this. That's how I'm doing my list. You don't like it? Make your own list and fuck off.
Is Tom getting hostile here?
No, because people always say that bullshit. They're like, well, it has to be 2017. I'm like, nah, dude. People you know how it is. People get so anal if their favorite album isn't on your list.
I think there could be a cutoff here, man. I mean, we're not including Raw Breed's official release from 96.
Right.
I think there's a statute of limitations here a little bit. I mean, this is an album that really didn't have the light of day at all. No. I mean, if people didn't know, or if it was never, announced that, this was previously recorded material, I don't think a lot of people would even have recognized that. I mean, I wouldn't have, because remember, I didn't even know. I'm listening to the record. I thought it was brand new, Y Society shit.
Well, that's the thing. If you hear these two, I mean, their styles aren't going to change that much. They're pretty similar styles today is what, that album sounds like.
That's what they do. They do that style, and I think that's why it completely counts. It's good shit.
And they do that style so well, and they go together so well. They're both producers, actually, even though Damu produced most of this, excuse me. And also, what I love this about this album, too. There's actual scratching on it. There's actual scratching on the hip-hop album, which is just so fantastic because I haven't heard that in forever. But once again, just sample-heavy, kind of smooth type of beats and just more boom-bap goodness, Even though the beats can be considered maybe a little bit more old school, I guess some of them have that sound, but, the fucking lyrical content is definitely up to date. Talking about all sorts of stuff from fucking corruption, the government to race, religion, just whatever crappy fucking USA bullshit that.
Yeah, those kind of topics are basically timeless anyway.
Right, exactly. So, and these guys, like I said before, these guys work so well together. Just Damu is just one of those dudes that just he just makes his beats are so good, they're so smooth, and they work well with I guess most MCs that I've heard over his beats. They just sound great. He can work well, make a beat for anyone, and it'll work. Now, I don't know if that's Damu or if it's just if he crafts their beats specifically for that MC or if he makes the beats beforehand and then he just, I don't know specifically, but most of the time it's just really smooth and it just works well. So,
man, it
definitely works.
Political rhymes are always timeless and shit, man. Remember that shit, man? What are you doing in the White House if you're not selling cocaine? Ask your wife, Nancy Reagan. I know she'll spit that game. Like one night, she came to my house and gave me a blowjob. She licked my dick up and down like it was corn on the cob. Fucking too short, man.
Bringing out the too short rhymes here.
I every time I think of like political, I always think of that Nancy Reagan wife. She's like licked my dick like it was corn on the cob. It's like still one of the funniest shit I've ever heard in my life. Cuss words, man.
Fantastic.
One thing I will say is I did leave this album off of my list just because it was older. I mean, it's just a choice I made. It's not, it's Tom's list. It's my list.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But I definitely love this album. Though it's definitely
I was reading through the forums. Album. I was reading through the forums, and people were just like, "You can't have Damu and Insight on that shit's old." There was a lot of fucking yelling going on, man. A lot of yelling.
Funny.
Yeah, I read that too. That's why I was like, I'm putting it on my list. Fuck those guys. I do what I want.
Yeah, I don't understand why people get so bent out of shape with stuff like that.
I don't know. I don't get it.
Oh, it's funny.
I think it's just hilarious too. I just laugh at them.
And also, before we move on to my pick, I just want to say, a shout out to Insight, because he actually reviewed our review of their album when we put it out. So I thought that was really nice of him to do that.
Yeah, that was actually a big shock. And totally gave us props on it, too. He's like, wow. Because didn't he say something along the lines of, like, he doesn't really care when people kind of critique his stuff, but then he actually listened to what we had to say, and he was like, oh, that's actually really interesting. It made him think about the album. So I was like, wow. That's pretty.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I saw he did review other reviews as well, and none of them got as high a grade as we did. We got the perfect score.
Wow. So we nailed it.
We did.
Yeah.
Good shit.
Yep. Nice. And my number 6 is Heavy Metal Kings with Black God, White Devil.
Damn! I'm really wow. Surprised this is on your list.
I'm kind of surprised to hear it's on your list too. But
I was as well, man. But for some reason, I just kept listening to this album. It's a fun listen. It's good beats, hard rhymes. I just kept it in the car for weeks and weeks. I just keep listening to it.
Yeah, it's definitely great driving music, right? I definitely put this on a lot when I was driving, especially when it first came out. It was definitely a heavy rotation during a lot of my longer drives. So for sure,
it is perfect if you're like in a very kind of easy moment. Like if you're just driving from point A to point B and you're like not in a rush, but as a courier, when you have to battle traffic and you're always fucking screaming at people and shit. Listen to angry like heavy metal king stuff, man. Will set you the fuck off, man. It's just too hype, man, for me.
Yeah, it just brings your level up another notch.
It does, man. But man,
one more step closer to the edge.
It's so true. It's so true, man. But yeah, it's top to bottom, just a bunch of bangers on there, man. So many good beats, and and I was definitely I like this one a lot more than the first one that they put out. I think this one was a little more cohesive, and it felt raw, man. Vinny's just, man, I don't know, man. It's something about his style, but Ill Bill actually, they complemented each other really well in this record, but, they got
Vinny, and they have Gore-Tex as the new member, apparently, because he's featured on almost every track.
That was going to be my next question. Is it official that Gore-Tex is part of the group? Because he's like on more than half the album.
Yeah, I haven't heard it's official, but I mean, like you said, he's on almost, I think he's not on, maybe 3 tracks or something like that.
Something like that, man. I mean, they should. I mean, at that point, why even put feature Gore-Tex on a track?
Yeah.
Just have Gore-Tex part of the group. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, I think this is a great album by them. It's definitely better than the first one, I thought.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I agree. All right, so getting into top five stuff right here. So coming in number 5 for myself has been mentioned, and that's Your Old Droog. An album that I had on constant play this year, man. I bumped the living shit out of this one, top to bottom. It's one of those albums that every time I put on, I have to listen to the whole thing. The only blip in this record is Danny Brown's shitty verse on Grandma Hips, man. Fuck, is that shit out of... Like, I mean, you listen to this album 100 times. Every single time after you're done listening to the album, you'll be like, that damn Danny Brown verse.
Man, you hate Danny Brown so much. Oh, it's funny.
I find it so out of whack too on the record. Like it just it just sounds out of place too. You know, I mean, Danny Brown seems to have gotten crazier with time. Like I don't remember him being as insane with his voice and just craziness than he is now. I mean, I will admit, Danny Brown's kind of funny. He is entertaining, especially his videos are kind of entertaining to watch, like that Married to Children one that he did or whatever. That shit was funny. But I mean, I can't get into. I mean, I'm a voice person too, and Danny Brown is just doesn't got it for me. But that's kind of like the one little blip on the record for me. But I love the cohesiveness. I like how it has that, you know, that concept feel to it, that radio feel, very unique beats. And Yoel Droog is kind of like this generation's Nas in a sense with his voice and shit. And he's entertaining throughout an album. I swear I find something new every single time I listen to the record too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is, but it's just one of those albums, man. It's short, sweet, to the point, and it's dope, man. Really, really dope. And it came with a book of matches. It says packs on it.
Cool.
So cool. So
if only Danny Brown had used his inside voice, it would have been a lot better.
Stop yelling.
Well, you know, he has like the two different personas. Like he does have his normal, you know, low voice. Like on that album he put out there a couple years ago, he has half of it in that way, and then half in his, you know, voice. But you know, if he had did that, it would have made more sense on a Yoel Droog album.
I got to go back and listen to the Black and Brown album. Was he insane on that album he did with Black Milk?
Yeah, not as much. You know, lately he's been really amping it up. Like pretty much every feature he does is in the high crazy voice.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my number 5, Yoel Droog with Pax. Tom,
Nice.
Number 4.
Number 4
or number 5.
Number 5.
Dude, I keep looking at the next number. I can't keep track of numbers.
All right. Anyway, my number 5 is Moodz. Oh, one of Moodz' favorite. I don't want to say his favorite MCs, but one of his favorite MCs of all time for sure. It's your OC, Same Sun, Same Moon.
Nice.
Which came out at the beginning of 2017. Once again, I think January. I think it was February as well. A lot of good albums dropping in February, apparently.
Yeah.
So another one, fantastic. You know, definitely a veteran MC from the DITC crew, coming back to drop a fucking banger, in my opinion. Definitely hasn't lost a fucking step along the way, man. He sounds so good. 2 projects with OC this year, obviously. One also with Apathy as well, which we mentioned earlier in the show. But this is a solo project. I think 12 tracks on here. I never have anything open when I need to.
14.
I think there's
14.
12 tracks on here. 14 tracks. Okay. 14 tracks. I don't remember the runtime off the top of my head, but I don't remember it being overly long as well. You guys know how long it is? I think it was about the same, right? About like 40 something minutes, I want to say.
41.
Yeah, 40.
With the 2 bonus tracks. When we reviewed this album, I think we did the 12, but there is an extension. There was I think I think the CD version. No, we've reviewed the vinyl version, which has 12. The CD has 14.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is. So, but the whole 14 tracks runs about 41 minutes. So again, you know, it's in that realm of 38 to 42 type thing.
Right. In that realm. And once again, very minimal features on this one. Well, you got AG. Who else was on here? I don't remember off the top of my head. I know there was like only a couple features.
David Bars, Jessica Gage.
Okay, yeah. So these guys, probably dudes that I wouldn't even know if I, bumped over into them in the street, right?
Yeah.
But it was great. You know, they were good from what I remember. They were fantastic. But obviously, the star of the show here is OC, and a pretty damn good production lineup too, from Showbiz, and I think Showbiz executively produced this as well. Because when I was reading about it, I remember OC saying that him and Showbiz made a lot of the decisions together as to how this album would go. So, definitely in that DITC classic kind of New York sound, though. What he's definitely known for, kind of fresh, but still boom bap to the fullest, and touching on everything from obviously the economy of the U.S. to just being a man to just straight up street shit. So everything that we love from OC, in my opinion. yeah, fantastic. So I love the minimal features and the kind of great runtime. This album, just for me, it just runs right through. One of those that I listen to from start to finish, and I don't even notice that it's done. You know, I look up on the end, so I fucking love it though. Yeah, nice. I love it. So, what do you guys think?
Yeah, this album for me, it kind of dropped off the radar for me. I remember when we first listened to it and reviewed it, I was all about it, but yeah, it just kind of dropped off for me, unfortunately.
Yeah, the first half of the year, man, it was like on constant rotation, but then, you know, when the second half of the year picked up, you know, it was due to the fact of, you know, having, you know, listening to new albums too, right? And yeah, you know, I still listen to it throughout the year and still really, really enjoy the record too. That's actually kind of interesting that this is on your list. Well, it's not interesting it's on the list, but it's the second album that actually just officially got a sequel. So there's a part 2 of this album coming out too. Along with MC8's Which Way Is West, which is really cool. So we're getting sequels to these albums that are on our top 10 list in 2018. Who knows, we might even have sequels on the year-end show.
Yeah,
so that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
but
yeah, like you said, going again to back to the fact that I didn't listen to a lot of albums. I did bump this, you know, throughout the year. So once again, it maybe something else would have knocked it out, but I just like this so much it ended up didn't getting knocked out. So
yeah,
the one that I heard afterwards just didn't touch this, and it's motherfucking OC. You know,
it's a deep record. I mean, it's a deep record. If you start reading into lyrics and actually following what he's saying and stuff, it's for me. You know, after you decipher all the songs and stuff, and because I listened to it quite a bit, and for me, it became a mood album. I needed to be really mellow and just kind of chill and listen. I mean, it is a very chill record and stuff, right? So,
yeah.
You know, and you know, most of this year I haven't been able to relax, so it's just been like a go type year. And I think stuff like Heavy Metal Kings has been like keeping me fucking just amped up and stuff. But no, it's honestly a really great album. I think OC did a fantastic job. But he's a very consistent artist. He really is. You know,
sure.
Kind of underrated in that aspect. People don't. You know, when you think of like DITC and stuff, people always think of Big L and, you know, and those cats. But I mean, OC he's been that cat that's been around since day one and still going, you know?
Yeah.
So
definitely.
Yeah. And like you said, like for you, it's a mellow album. That's why you weren't able to like fully get with it. For me, it helped mellow me out when I listened to it, because I had a pretty hectic, crazy with work and stuff. You guys don't know, I work overnight, usually graveyard shift most of the time. Not so much anymore, but it's what I was doing. So yeah, this definitely helped, you know, kind of mellow me out when I was stressed out and stuff. I was able to chill, put this album by myself when I was working. So luckily I get to work from home, so which was cool.
Nice.
And yeah, it just helped mellow me out a lot when I had just stress bullshit fucking going on. So that's what actually helped me. So that's why I enjoyed it. So kind of interesting there.
Yeah, it's always great when an album can do that for you. It's pretty special, actually.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it was kind of higher on my list as opposed to some of the other stuff. So
I found myself listening to a lot of the Damu projects, you know, instrumental records that came out. Like he put out like 3 or 4 albums this year or something. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy, but Vignettes actually was one that, you know, if I just needed to like really, really calm down, should I put that shit on, and it just works. It really does. It puts you into like a new place, and you're just like, oh yeah, I can chill to that shit. So
yeah, same for me. That was like in my top 15 for sure. If we made like a top 20, that would be in there. It's like a fucking 2-hour long record, but the whole thing is just fantastic all the way through.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
And that OC album didn't make my list, but this one did. It's with his buddy Apathy, Perestroika. Nice. Man, this album kind of blew me away, really, like with the concept and everything. I know we did a review on it, but after that, I just kept listening to it, and it's just, man, it's really stuck with me.
Yeah, I feel that. I love this album too, man. I thought this was fucking one of my favorites for sure. I've always been a huge fan of Apathy.
Yeah. I think this is probably my favorite thing Apathy's ever done.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Really?
This is definitely up there for me, but it's not my favorite. But it's definitely, I can see that it's definitely one of my favorites, especially recently. He's kind of had some hit and miss projects. So recently, yeah, this is definitely my favorite thing that he's done recently.
Yeah.
And he definitely outshined. I'm sorry, I don't disagree, but he definitely outshined OC on this for sure.
Yeah.
Like he definitely came to fucking rap, and he definitely fucking rapped. He showed that he can keep up with some of the best of them, and fucking.
Maybe that's why I liked Apathy on this so much, is because going, back to back with OC, and I'm always thinking, man, Apathy's killing this. Like, holy shit.
And he did. Kill it, he did.
Definitely did.
I think that's kind of the general consensus here. I've had this conversation with a few different people, and they all, as being OC fans like myself, I mean, I agree. I think Apathy did a little bit of the outshining on this album. And, that's coming from a massive, massive OC fan.
Yeah. Hearing that from you is, that really tells you right there how much Apathy stepped up on this.
Yeah.
And this would be another great one if we're talking sequels. Man, I'd love to hear these two pair up again and go do some more of the back and forth rhymes, because this one they didn't really do that there was one track they did, but yeah, man, if they get back together and spend some time and go back and forth on rhymes, man, that'd be freaking killer.
Oh, I think it would just be like giving me goosebumps right now even thinking about that. That'd be fucking awesome. And it's funny because I think they were like 360 was actually alluding to in the interview, like, is there going to be another Perestroika album? I don't think that Apathy really knows. Right? I think it might have been a project of the time.
Yeah.
But who knows? He might just be withholding information too, because, I mean, a lot of these guys don't like to talk about things that may or may not materialize. Because they don't want to they don't want to put the info out there and, kind of be misleading and shit. Oh, yeah, for sure, we're putting this out. It's like fucking, hearing Pete Rock and Primo talk about this collabo record that's been coming out for fucking 45 years. Like,
are we ever them or like Rock Marciano and Kaz album? It's like, where the hell is this shit, right?
Well, it's funny because, like, I was listening to this interview that Luke was doing with Pete Rock. I think it was from 2015. And he said 100% the album's coming out in 2016. Here we are in beginning of 2018, and I haven't heard a lick of shit coming out from this Pete Rock and Primo record. So,
yeah, that happens too often.
I don't think that shit's ever coming out. Actually, as a matter of fact, pretty much everything that Pete Rock talked about in that interview has not dropped.
Yeah.
It's kind of fucked. It's kind of fucked. Now, when I think back on it.
So much damn weed. That's it. All the damn
he probably forgot what he was talking about. He's like, oh, shit, I didn't bring that up on the show, man. There's no way. Yeah, man, I have to agree, though. This is one of my more favorite projects from Apathy in a long time. I mean, I really, really dug Honky Kong, man. I love that record. It's a fun album. A lot of cool features, a lot of cool, just funny beats. Like, I just, Honky Kong, right from the album title, was just funny as hell to me, man. But I still think Eastern Philosophy, though, is probably, I mean, I'm not saying it's better than Perestroika, but Eastern Philosophy is always that album that I always go back to.
Yeah.
Listen, I think that one really fucking bangs, man. That's when he was on Baby Grande. Remember Baby Grande back in the day?
Baby Grande.
Yeah, Baby Grande, yeah.
Baby Grande.
Putting the French accent on.
Totally, man. Where the fuck's that shit coming from? There's no goddamn French people in the West. I've never met a French person out here. You're Baby Grande.
You got the European influence, the French going on. Like, what the hell's going on today, man?
Good love. Oh, man. What the fuck is going on, man? Well, I mean, hence the Eastern Philosophy.
Yeah.
This shit's all coming full circle, man. But you know what I'm really, I mean, Apathy and Self-Titled, I mean, they should do like another full-blown record together too. Yeah. I mean, I think they put out one last year, I believe, or something. I think it was like a limited, it might have been like a tour album or something.
Yeah, it was like their tour album.
Yeah. But like, I mean, another album like No Place Like Chrome. I'd like to see what they would do now. Because I mean, their sound has evolved since, 2006 when they put out No Place Like Chrome record. And I would love to see, or love to hear an album from them today. I mean, Self-Titled he's one of those dudes, man, like, where the fuck does he go?
Yeah, he's on like the Vanderslice work rate, man. It's
like he, I mean, he was that guy that would work with everybody in the industry for so long, put out that 4-disc fucking catalog thing, and then did the record with Buckwild and stuff. But like, you haven't heard, he doesn't even do features anymore, it seems like.
Can you imagine if Self-Titled and Vanderslice hooked up to make a record? Like,
shit would never drop.
That would be like 20 years in the making.
Yeah.
Right?
But man, I think Apathy, I mean, Self-Titled needs somebody like Apathy to motivate him, I think, though, because Apathy is obviously motivated. I mean, he's very consistent. He's always doing something. I mean, if you look at his discography, it's ridiculous. And in the last 13, 14 years, he's been pretty consistent. So, but maybe that's what Self-Titled needs, just a little kick in the ass or you need some to go and dust off some 90s beats, man. Maybe Buck Wild's got some more shit in the vault or something. I don't know.
I swear probably Self-Titled's just sitting around making up ideas for fucking t-shirts, because that's all you see on his website or whatever. It's like selling all these clever little t-shirts, It's like,
it's so true. It's so true.
It's like, just put out some damn music, Self-Titled. Come on, man.
Well, the irony is half those shirts are probably punchlines from his songs that he's done over the years.
Yeah.
So, they are. They're all like song names or album names or parts. Yeah, like punchlines. They are. So.
It's like Walmarts and stuff like that. It's like grenades and shit on t-shirts.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. All right, so moving into the top 4 here, I also have Perestroika, number 4.
Perestroika.
I can't talk. I can't do it.
You got to get the Russian accent on this one, Moodz.
Perestroika. I can't. You know what?
Perestroika.
I'm really, really bad. That's one thing I've never been able to do in my life is accents. Like, if you ask me to do an accent, I'm like, no, man, I'll pass.
Other than French.
Other than French, yeah. Which is so ironic, though. But, man, read from Live from the Iron Curtain, man. Read down to what it's all about. The first 11 songs of this record are so cohesive. And then we have this oddball song, Globetrotters, at the end with Just Cuz, which I still feel is just so beyond strange on this album.
Yeah.
That's the only kind of blip on the record for me, I think. I mean, I guess there's a reason why it was put 12th, or, put as the last track on the album. But, again, what a great concept record. And Apathy and OC do a great job. I agree. Apathy's, outshine OC. I mean, it is saying a lot though too, because OC is really good on the record. I think Apathy he 11'd him. He turned it up to a volume 11. He spinal tapped that shit, man. So, yeah, dude, it's awesome. I mean, I was just talking about how Self-Titled he's not really doing features and shit like that, but he's actually featured on this record. Go figure. But it's cool though. It's cool because the album feels like you get a lot of Apathy and OC, and that's what I wanted to hear. I would have loved to hear them go back and forth Run DMC style, because I think it just would have been so fucking entertaining and awesome. Maybe they'll do it on the project if they have one coming out in the future. We don't know, but just such a great record, man. So Apathy pretty much produced the whole record. He didn't, we talked about this in a review, but Moss actually produced the first single, Soviet Official.
Yeah.
Which is still, to me, is so weird. Like when somebody produced the whole record and you got one other producer on the record and he's got the lead single, it's like, damn.
It's a damn good beat, though.
It is, man. It is. But Perestroika, and we talked about this record enough, but that is my number 4. Awesome album. Copped it on CD and vinyl.
Ooh, doubling up.
I did.
Doubling up on that one.
Yeah.
Well, following up with my friends here, Moodz and Jason, my number 4 was also Perestroika, coincidentally enough. Which, I have nothing more to add, man. I basically said everything I had to say about fantastic record. Just we all. I mean, it was all pretty high on our list, top 5. So we all loved it, obviously.
Yep, definitely.
I mean, great record. We need a part 2. Apathy OC, if you're listening to this, we need a part 2. This was fucking fantastic. So
I wonder what they would do for a part, like to do a sequel. Do you do a sequel with the same type of concept, or do you just? I don't know what the fuck you do.
I don't know. Interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. You should think about what they can do. Maybe
that would be pretty cool if they did release like a series of concept albums, like totally different topics every time.
Right. Like different.
Yeah, Apathy and OC, because technically the group, I get Perestroika, it's titled the same, right? So they go and they take like another kind of weird regime type thing, or just do a concept of something else. I mean, and totally name it something different. Actually, that's a really cool idea.
Yeah. The fucking what was the regime in was it in Thailand? I completely blank on his name, but there was a fucking crazy dictator in Thailand for all those years that fucking took over and did crazy shit like that. You're like, there's so many different ways you can go with this.
Oh, there's
so many, big time.
Nutcase fucking war leaders out there that
do it on North Korea.
Yeah.
Fucking have Dennis Rodman do a feature.
There it is. I don't, man. If you put Dennis Rodman on some shit, that's some gimmicky ass shit right there. I mean, let's face it. I mean, Apathy and OC aren't really the most gimmicky MCs out there. Could you imagine? Like, you see Dennis Rodman's name, you're like, what the fuck is going on here?
Dennis Rodman, like, pleading the case for Korea, it's like...
Exactly, man. Like,
they love basketball. They love basketball. Come on.
Fucking Dennis Rodman's insane.
Yeah.
He's insane. He's dyed his fucking hair one too many times, man. That shit seeped into his brain.
To his brain, yeah. Totally. Totally. Yeah, so that's what I had for number 4, fucking record.
Nice.
Yeah.
The Stoika. Yeah, the Stoika. So, what are we at?
Number 4. So my number 4 is a member of Clear Soul Forces, Novelist, with Kenjutsu Under the Moonlight.
Wow.
Ooh, I haven't heard this one. I am not familiar with this record.
Oh, man. If you want to have something to listen to chill to, Tom, because it's all new job is production. It's like basically his tribute to him. Like, he's his favorite producer, so he did this as a tribute to him. And also, it's like 2 of his friends passed away, so it's an emotional record, but it's super super chill, and I love this thing.
Nice. It sounds really cool. I'm definitely interested to check it out.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, please do so, because I think you'll really enjoy it. I mean, you like Clear Soul Forces as well, don't you?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So Novelist is probably like the premier member of that group, and he's doing a lot of solo stuff. So, but this is really short. It's really short. It's only I think it's around 33 minutes. So yeah, it's on his Bandcamp. So definitely give it a shot.
Yeah, I haven't heard this one, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. It seemed like was this like a physical release or like a major release? Because
he does have physical copies on his Bandcamp, so you can buy a physical if you want to.
What's the name? What's the name of it again?
Yeah, what's the name of it?
Kenjutsu, Kenjutsu, Under the Moonlight. So basically, like sword fighting under the moonlight.
Okay, yeah, I saw this get mentioned earlier. I didn't check it out though.
Yeah.
So I was always curious what happened if after they did that gold PP9 or PP7 record, whatever it's called. It seemed like he just dropped off. I haven't heard anything from him, so I'm definitely
they put an album out after that.
Yeah, but I haven't heard it though.
Oh, didn't you? Okay.
Yeah, so
it's really good.
Was it?
Yep.
Cool. I got to check that out too. Then I'm way behind.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, honestly,
I don't think a lot of people have heard of this. So if you haven't and you like that style of production, like the laid back jazzy production, Novelist kills it on the rhymes. So definitely give it a shot.
Yeah, because the Clear Soul Force's last record came out in 2015, which was Fab 5.
Yep.
Which was good. I mean, yeah, their records so far are really good, man. Detroit Revolutions, Gold PP7s, and Fab 5, like, all pretty good stuff.
Yeah, they're one of my favorite groups for sure.
Yeah, when Detroit Revolutions came out, man, I was just raging over that one. That was fucking, that was flames, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, good shit, man. So that's interesting. I'm going to have to check that out, man. Totally missed that one.
Yeah.
But that's the way it goes, man. All right, so top three coming in here. My pick for number 3 is War Porn Industries with the War Porn mixtape. This shit was just on constant rotation all year. Like, it just always seemed to be one of those albums I would just go back to, listen to the shit out of it. We've talked about this one enough, but it's just everything works for me. The beats, the samples, the features, man. Just Everlast just fucking murders the shit. Sick Jackin', Divine Styler. Everyone's like Divine Styler, even back on the microphone. It's like insane, man. It's so cool, man. But I mean, I think War Porn has been talked to death. So, but that's my number 3, man. War Porn. It's there because it just had so much replay value this year. And I love it. I love it, man. I really wish that, someone would just maybe some European country will press it up like they always seem to have these legal bootleg, these really good looking bootlegs. What's that company that put out the 9 record? Was it Smoke On Records? They put out the...
Yeah,
I think it was Smoke On Records. They put out 9. Yeah. And I those aren't really... I mean, they actually acquired the rights to those and shit, but there's a few European countries that always seem to drop those really nice looking bootlegs. Maybe we'll get one for War Porn. That'd be cool. But
the unofficial copy.
Yes, exactly. So that's my number 3.
Nice. All right, so moving into my top three here. My number three, I have. Well, actually, let me just say, I actually had that originally when I first made up my list. That was my number two record, was War Porn. But that was like when I first started listing stuff off. That was like the second album I wrote down. So it stayed at number two for a while too, but it moved down quite a bit. Yeah. Anyway, I have. I don't know if you guys heard this one, Milo, Who Told You to Think.
Yep.
Yeah.
A West Coast rapper. Highly. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. Not everyone's gonna like Milo or the whole Hellfire Club. I love it. It takes me right back to kind of my namesake and that whole late 90s, early 2000s Anticon sound. Even though he doesn't sound like those guys, but same kind of feeling that I get when listening to this.
Yeah.
Same type of passion in his fucking lyrics and the stuff he's rapping about. Produced by himself under an alter ego, which is like classic fucking Anticon style fucking stuff that they do. And just like, I don't know, just huge nods to like Madlib, The Roots, fucking all sorts of stuff in his water. I mean, his water in his fucking his music. Holy shit! I am so tired right now. Yeah, but fantastic record. He has fucking nerd references in here. Fucking great wordplay. Obviously, sample beats. Very kind of layered and like rich beats too. Have you guys heard this one?
Yeah. I actually listened to this quite a bit. I really enjoyed it as well.
Nice. Yeah. So, what do you guys think?
I need to listen to it more, to be honest. I listened to it a little bit ago, and again, just kind of got lost in the mix of stuff. I did like it though. I did like it. I got to revisit it though.
Cool. Yeah, like I said,
this was close to making my top 10, but it got bumped off.
Yeah. Like I said, it definitely just brings me back to that like late 90s, early 2000s kind of underground, when underground hip hop was actually,
I definitely agree with that. It's definitely along those lines of the old Anticon type stuff.
Yeah. So I don't think I need to explain anymore why I love that. My namesake. So yeah, that's it. Who Told You to Think? On Hellfire Club from out of California. So nice. What you got?
My number three is one of my top three MCs with Rock Marciano, Rosebud's Revenge.
Nice.
It's another album that we did a review on earlier in the year, and man, I just keep playing this over and over. I pick things up every time I listen to it. It's Rock Marciano. It's like I love the guy.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Yeah.
Marciano.
Yep.
Yeah. I was just waiting for you to say this. I was hoping it was gonna be on your list, but I would be surprised if it wasn't on your list. So
yeah. I mean, it is something that I've listened to throughout the year. Like I said, it's got a lot of replay value. Definitely could have been made. It could have been my number one, but
that was my pick for your number one. So if we were doing the
I could see that.
Yeah,
I think you're going to be really surprised with my number one, actually.
So yeah. Rock Marciano.
Yeah, I think we talked about Rock Marciano quite a bit. Before.
Yeah, there's not really a whole lot else to say. It's you know what Rock Marciano does. Some people love it, like myself. Some people hate it. So.
Yep.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah, you definitely get those people that are pretty outspoken about Marciano being super overrated. They don't get the no drums thing. Just everything about it. It's just like they don't get the production. So I mean, it's like. I don't know, maybe like a Kendrick Lamar. I mean, the contrast is like Kendrick Lamar. I mean, some people really like him and get him and shit, and others just don't.
Yeah.
It's love or hate type thing. So, all right. So getting in here into the top two, number two for Mir. Oh my God. Insight and Damu with Ears, Hear, Spears. I actually got that out. Nice.
Damn.
Nice.
I fucking all year, ever since the shit came out, man, I rock this like it seems like every few days it's always in the deck or on the table because I bought the CD and vinyl. So I'll be rolling around listening to it, come home and listen. I just love this album. The whole arrangement of it, we obviously reviewed this thing, but it just never gets old to me. It's got a great pace to it and it's just a fun record, man. And that's what, hip hop's supposed to be about. Good lyricism and funness and, this one has it all for me, man. It really does.
Yeah, it covers a lot of ground, really.
It does, man, and 11 tracks, 43 minutes. reading that timestamp again, which is very, very strange. I just can't believe these records, but yeah, man. Ears, Here, Spears, Insight and Damu, aka Y Society, in at number 2.
Yep.
Nice.
All right, so my number 2 was Uncommon NASA, Written at Night.
Wow.
Have you guys heard this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming from you at all.
I'm a little bit shocked by this too, actually. Wow.
Blown away.
Holy crap.
I don't know why you guys would be shocked about this. I mean, I think it's pretty... Yeah, I don't know why you'd be shocked. I'm a big fan of Uncommon NASA. I mean, he's pretty reminiscent of, like, he was on Def Jux back in the day, and this is pretty reminiscent of that at times. At least to me.
Not that you're a fan of him, it's just that you had it this high on the list.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get that. You know why? Probably because I don't actually. You know what? I don't know. It just one that I enjoyed quite a bit. It just stuck with me all the way through. I played the shit out of it, and it's one that I never wanted to turn off. Another one I could play all the way through without getting sick of. And one of those albums which just doesn't happen to me all the time. I hear something new every time I hear it. The record is like so atmospheric. It's good for, I know this isn't for everyone, but I could put this on at any time of the day.
Yeah.
And it'll be good for me. You know, even though it's made to be like, it's called Written at Night. It's meant to be listened to at night, what happens during the night, you know, all the craziness and cacophony and stuff that happened before the sun comes up. But, yeah, that's kind of what I got out of it. But I love all the features on here. Basically, every song has a feature other than 2, I believe. All the features do their thing. Guilty Simpson, Open Mike Eagle, King Casimir, Bronze Nazareth, who I'm usually not too big a fan of, but pretty good on this. Oh No. Yeah, filled with features. Mike Ladd. I believe all the features... Actually, you know what? I don't know. I want to say all the features did all their stuff in person, but I'm not sure about that. I want to say I read that somewhere, but I'm not. Don't hold me to that.
Huh. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So fucking produced by Uncommon NASA himself. Obviously, keeps that central theme going all the way through. So I loved it. Billy Woods was on here as well.
Yep.
Well, Chris. Yeah, fantastic. I love Uncommon NASA. Like I said, one of the reasons I love this was that it kind of brought me back to that Def Jux days, which that was like kind of my golden age of hip hop for me. Obviously not the golden age, but like my personal golden age. The kind of early 2000s Def Jux sound that I really fell in love with. Hip hop kind of got a reboot of hip hop around that time. Kind of after everything started going to shit around like the early 2000s. Yeah, this is one that kind of kept the goodness going. And yeah, this brought me right back to that place. So fantastic lyricism.
So kind of along the same lines of Milo, like, you know, it brought you back to that time frame.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep. That's cool.
So, nice.
Yeah. So that's
I'm gonna have to give this one a full attention. I know you guys had mentioned this. I think both you guys mentioned this in the chat throughout the year. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And I need to give it some full attention. I think I might have scanned through it and.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's your thing or not, Moodz, really, but
I think that's what happened. I might have been listening and I scanned through it, and
I
remember. I think I might have checked out the song with Guilty on it, or something. I can't remember. It's been a while. This one came out I don't know when it came out. Mid-year, something like that. It was a while ago.
I think it was definitely during the summer, like late summer. I want to say August, September.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah. But I don't know if you would fully love this. It's definitely not the typical stuff, obviously, that we've been naming off. But you know what kind of music Uncommon NASA.
For sure.
You've heard it before. So.
Yep.
So that was my number 2, Uncommon NASA, Written at Night.
Go.
Shocked and surprised.
My number 1 is gonna go completely the other way. So you guys are going to be it's going to be a huge left turn from that one. So.
I was thinking there's one other, when you just mentioned a feature that was on that, Billy Woods, I was thinking his album would probably be up in this range for you, because I know you're a pretty big Billy Woods fan.
You know what? It was close, but for some reason, I didn't get around to listening to that album until very late into the year. Okay. I was like, I didn't have enough time to sit with that album. as long as I wanted to. Like, I just heard it, like, not even a month, like,
I didn't even check it out. Shit.
Yeah, because I didn't know about it. Like, the album is called Known Unknowns. And
it was unknown.
It was called Known Unknown for good reason.
I actually listened to it quite a bit. It almost made my list as well. That's one that I really liked a lot.
Yeah, that was a really, really good one, too. I love that track with Aesop Rock on there. Anyway, I'm getting on a...
Sandman.
Yeah, getting on a tangent. So that's what I got. Uncommon Master that night.
Nice. And my number 2, rest in peace, Sean P. Sean Price with Imperious Rex.
Ooh, yeah.
This is by far my favorite Sean Price album.
Really? You like this more than Mike Tyson?
Oh yeah. Love this. Oh. Like all the beats are pretty powerful, banging beats. Like, even though his voice did sound a little bit different on this, and it's kind of sad to, this it's the last thing he's gonna ever put out, but man, I really, really love this album.
You can tell, man, like he was just so beyond fucked up, it came out good, but like, yeah, there is songs on here. I mean, the one song there, he has like the 3 lyrical P's, his Prodigy's on that song, man. It's like, Jesus. I know, that's a fucking sad ass track, man, and it's dope too, man.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
definitely.
Like, it's just, oh man. I know, like, dude, could you imagine that record?
Ooh.
Lyrical P's, man, by Prodigy, Sean P, and Styles P.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah. Dude, that would have made a really cool record, man. I think oh man.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's kind of making me sad just talking about it, really. But I mean,
it really does.
I really, really like this album a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Just a banger. Sean P style, you know what he does. It's like, it's entertaining as hell.
I agree.
Yeah, you really can't go wrong with Sean Price for sure. Rest in peace. He will be missed.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. All right, so moving on to my number 1 favorite album of the year, without question, hands down, Sean Price, Imperious Rex.
Nice.
I listen to this like nonstop. This album is so crisp, man. The production is so good, man. I mean, even Sean Price, you can tell that he was muffling his words a little bit at times. They even mixed his vocals actually quite well in this record. It's so like you say, it's so fucking sad, man. I mean, this isn't as bad as like that mixtape type thing that came out last year.
Yeah,
that shit, man. Which with all those kind of like short mixtape type tracks on there, man. You can hear the muffle in his voice, and it's sad. It's like he's dying while he's rapping, man.
Yeah,
it's really, really fucking sad. Like, but this one's a little bit more crisp. But like, I love all the features on it, man. Like, Definition of a God is like probably my favorite song of the year. I mean, when we first got on Skype here tonight, first thing I did was bumping fucking Definition of God. I love that.
As soon as you put that on, I was thinking, is this going to be his number 1? Is this like is this foreshadowing here?
I thought maybe you might think that too, and I was like, shit, I shouldn't have done that. But man, dude, like so many dope, like Prodigy, Styles P, man, Clans and Cliques, man, going back to like the Helter Skelter. Clans, Crews, Posses, and Click, I think is what it was. But this guy, Smith & Wesson, Rock, Method Man, Raekwon, Inspected Deck, and Foul Monday. Man, you got MF Doom on here, Buckshot and General Steel. Of course, man, Rusty Jucks. Even his wife, Bernadette Price, making a couple appearances on here. Which was kind of interesting. I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool when she did the hook on Dead or Alive.
Yeah, that was shocking. I was like, Bernadette Price. I'm like, what the fuck?
Cool. She sounds like she can rap, man.
She can actually. I don't know where it came. Maybe I don't know if she did it for the record, or I don't know how that whole. I'd like to know the story why she's on here, because she's never done anything before, did she? Or am I just mistaken?
I don't think so. I'm not aware of it if she did.
Okay.
Not sure.
Because I'm thinking maybe she might have done the hook for Dead or Alive because they didn't have anything for it. He had the verses and maybe nothing in there, and she just stepped in and did it. I don't know.
It's a possibility.
Don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know. But overall, a very, very impressive last outing by Sean Price. I know there's still some songs that have been recorded since that have not come out. I think, oddly enough, going back to Vanderslice actually has a track that he did with Sean Price that has, I think he might have released it as a single, but it's going to be on his forthcoming album. So you'll get some new Sean Price then. So he's talking about that. And he actually has a track, I believe, with Prodigy too. So
crazy.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, you're gonna hear some verses in the near future of these passed away MCs, but yeah, man, Sean Price, Imperious Rex, like, what a great final outing for him. It's just fantastic done stuff, and it's gonna be on replay for a long time. I love it.
Yeah, for me as well.
Yeah, and it comes in this like the CD digibook thing. Oh, it's fantastic. It's like a hardcover book. It's got like picture gallery, all the notes and shit. It's a great little setup. So, but yeah, that's my number one. Tom, number one album of the year.
Sure, all that fucking sadness make me feel bad about not having Sean Price.
Okay, well, I guess it's not your number one.
It's not my number one. Can you guys guess what my number one is? Any guesses?
I actually have no idea. Like, I just don't even have a clue. I thought it was going to be the Damu record, but...
That's what I thought as well.
No, there's another record that came out that I've played nonstop. I literally play this record every single day since it's come out. Well, multiple times a day, even sometimes. When I got in my car this morning, it was playing, coincidentally. So, Cunning Linguists, Rose, not Najano. I am butchering that name like crazy, but Cunning Linguists, in my opinion, can do no wrong.
I actually should have known that. And Cunning Linguists, that album was right on my cutoff too. It was one of the albums that was in my top 10 for a while. It got bumped. Yeah. Mind you, a lot of albums kind of came and went for my list. Heavy Metal Kings was another one and stuff. But we'll get into honorable mentions. But I should have thought I should have known Cunning Linguists, man. What the fuck?
It might have gotten bumped, like I said, if I listened to more projects, but obviously I don't think this one would have. It's been my number one since it came out. Fucking fantastic. No, Deacon the Villain. If you guys don't know Cunning Linguists and you're listening to this, please go check out any of their music. But this one's great. Another kind of
it's very soulful.
So basically, very, very soulful. Very soulful.
That's why I listened to it a couple of times initially, because we were going to actually review this on a show. Yeah. And I don't know, I just put it away. I was like, I don't know, I'm not feeling this album. And I thought maybe it's just the mood I was in at the time. So I listened to it again. And I was like, it's just too, like you said, it's soulful. It's maybe too much soul for me.
Maybe it was too much for you. Yeah, maybe you just weren't in that mind frame. Time,
it is definitely something I could see me listening to in a certain frame of mind and certain mood, but I don't know. I just put it away and didn't really bring it back out that often.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a concept album. For you guys that haven't heard it, it's about a girl named Rose, obviously, who going through life, and she has I don't even know how to it's hard to describe, but she has a disease called chromathesthesia. It's kind of where like you hear sounds and you hear colors and you see sounds, kind of like where you like every time you hear something you automatically think of a color when you hear a certain sound. It's really hard to explain. You guys have to go like read about it. I'm probably describing it just horrendously, but
makes sense.
So it's a really, really cool concept about that, and just obviously about her struggles and about just black music, and it's so amazing. I just love it. They're so on fire and fucking, I don't know, it's just so good. I just can't say enough good things about it. As you can hear, I don't know what the fuck to say about it because it's so damn good. So much I want to say, but it's gonna fucking take me.
Sometimes you don't need to say a lot, right?
In a sense, though, it's almost like a little bit depressing. The record. Yeah. I mean, but then again, the music it complements the content very well. Because it's very slow and kind of melodic, and it kind of sets the mood for what they're talking about. And it's kind of funny, actually, because I went to my buddy's house, a few weeks back, and I showed up at his house, and he had this album on. And I was like, dude, that's some really not great party music, man. And he just started laughing. He's like, yeah, because he's a huge Cunning Linguist fan. Like, fucking diehard Cunning Linguist fan. And so it didn't surprise me he was playing it, but, and I was like, it's not really... the most best music. Everyone's just got all somber and shit. I'm like, dude, put on some fucking Blue Sky Black Death or something. What the fuck, man?
Listen to the story. It's not a very happy story at all. It ends rather sad. So
it does, yeah. It's a very depressing album.
Yeah, it's one of those albums you would think, you'd listen to in headphones by yourself type of thing and take it all in.
It really is. It's almost like, watching a movie, but you're listening to it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the theme of it a little bit, right? It's kind of cool. That's interesting.
The production is so damn good. I love listening to it while I'm driving, especially at night, because it's just so fucking. It just works so well while you're driving at night. The street lights, especially like when it's raining a little bit, it just fucking. It just sets the mood so well for that kind of somber sort of night, even if you don't want to think about death that particular night. But
it's perfect road trip stuff. If you were driving at night on the highway, just to listen to this, because it would kind of make you focus, right? You just kind of kind of dials you in a little bit. Yeah.
But it's obviously you have to listen to the lyrics too to get the whole story. It took me multiple listens to actually see what the fuck is going on. Then I had to go read about a couple tracks because I still didn't fucking understand it fully. So
yeah.
But yeah, fantastic. So that's what I had. Cunnilinguist. They're one of my favorite groups of all time, if not my favorite group, probably. So that's that.
Good shit, man. Jay, number 1 of 2017.
Man, this is an album that I've been obsessed with. It's kind of a cinematic feel to me every time I listen to it. It's Huss Kingpin and Big Ghost with Cocaine Beach.
Wow. Yeah. It's dope, man.
Yeah, man. It's the beats, man. Like Big Ghost, definitely the whole feel of this. Like from the start, it's almost like, it's kind of a uplifting type of beat at the start. It's like almost like if you were taking coke at the first, you're hyped up, it's nice. Then it just goes down, man. It's like, oh man, such a great album.
Yeah, I was pissed, man. I went to go order this on fucking Bandcamp because they had limited press. It was fucking gonzos, man. I was like, shit. Weird.
Yeah, and I've looked at this so many times, like trying to find a copy of it, and it's like CDs are like $100.
Right.
Come on.
I know, dude. Weak sauce.
But yeah, every feature on this fits really well. I thought like there's no weak spots on it. Again, this is like a really short album. It's a 37-minute album, like all the other ones have been.
Yeah.
I love this, man. Every time I listen to it, it just like it takes me into a different mind frame. It's like cinematic to me. It's like you're watching a movie.
Yeah, it really is. This is one album I actually have heard this year, and I completely agree. It is like a fucking movie, straight up fucking fantastic.
Oh yeah,
cinematic.
These motherfuckers are going for crazy money. The CD's like cheapest one is $97 on Discogs, and the vinyl cheapest one is like $100.
Yeah, it's insane.
This is fucking brand new.
So this is my favorite album of the year, but I'm stuck like with the digital because there's no way. I mean, it was a free download. Like Big Ghost had it on his website as a free download, and it's on SoundCloud if you want to check it out. But yeah, there's no way I'm paying $100 for an album. I don't care how goddamn good it is.
No, that's crazy. And and actually, this album even has a dude that I told you to check out Crime Apple earlier in the year. Yeah, it's got Crime Apple on there and shit, man. I fucking like Crime Apple. We should press up some of his stuff, man. It's really mellow, kind of on that level and shit. And fucking cool shit, though, man. This album has Qbert on it, man. DJ Qbert.
Yes. Yeah, that scratch outro, man. It's killer.
I know. I was like blown away by it. I was like, man, where the fuck has Qbert been, man? That's awesome.
And like Huss Kingpin, if you're unfamiliar, he kind of has a style like Rock Marciano. Kind of has the same. I mean, they're both from Hempstead. Like they definitely influenced. They did work together before.
100%.
Yeah. This
was like Rock Marciano on the dopest like beat selection you could put him on, basically. So if Rock Marciano had been on this, it would have just blown my fucking head off, man.
It had, honestly, the album had a lot of good features on it. I mean, it had Smooth, right? Like Smooth. I like that dude, man. It had Willie the Kid.
Vinny Paz, man. Vinny Paz on 3 The God Way. That was, man. He killed that.
Planet Asia, another name we've talked about many times. The Rosewood, which had a really cool project last year, I believe. Was it the Rosewood? Yeah, it was really good last year. Milano was on here. Great features, man. Great album. Kind of forgot about it when I was doing my list. To be honest.
I've listened to this album so many times. It's like, because it is short as well. Like that helps. Like I'll just put it on and listen to it a couple times, and it's like, ooh, man, it's good.
Do you know when this came out, Jason?
It was like around summertime, maybe around June or July, something like that. I think.
I thought it was okay.
When the digital came out was earlier. I think the hard copies came out later.
Was it?
It didn't come out till like October.
Yeah, this came out like earlier in the year, right? I want to say like the actual digital album.
I think 2 or 3 months before summertime.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because when it dropped, it was like, whoa, shit, man, this shit's free. And then
Yep.
it was like, whoa, fucking, and then I think it was announced that like the physicals were coming soon, and they did. They came out a couple months later, so but gone in like 2 seconds.
Yeah,
they're gone. Yeah, now they're gone forever.
But you know, I mean, that's good. I mean, people bought it. That's good.
Yeah.
So we get more music. So it's good shit.
People bought it just to resell it on eBay for $100 fucking dollars.
Yeah, motherfuckers, right?
But like I said, though, if anybody wants to check it out, it is free, and it's on SoundCloud. If you go to Big Ghost SoundCloud, and it's free.
You don't have to pay $100 if you don't want to, but
no.
if you're balling like Money Bags Moodz, then he's gonna buy us.
I'm not paying $100 for no fucking fuck that shit.
Let's just all buy one and then just share it.
That's ridiculous, dude. That's ridiculous.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's the top 10 list. Let's get into some honorable mentions.